It's time to call code blue on President Obama's promise not to raise taxes on the middle class. Why? Well, because a new report shows the majority of Americans who will now have to pay the Obamacare tax are, you guessed it, middle class. With more on this, Republican Senator John Barrasso of Wyoming. All right, what was your reaction to this news from the CBO that it's not going to be 4 million people who are going to have to pay this tax, this penalty for not getting health care insurance, but 6 million?
Well, Geri, it says to me that, this is another broken Obama promise. He had said that first he said it's not going to be a tax at all. The Supreme Court said, yes, it is. Originally, a couple of years ago, the Congressional Budget Office said it may affect 4 million people. Now they've elevated that estimation to 6 million people, and we're really talking about the middle class who are going to get stuck with this tax. They're going to be paying huge fees annually because of this mandate of the health care law that they have to buy health insurance.
According to some folks, this would cost something like $1,200 a year. The government is going to collect $7 to $8 billion a year. And how ironic is this, that the government passes legislation because they think you can't afford health care that puts in place a penalty that you can't afford? I mean, it's catch-22 of the worst order.
Well, it's what we saw in advance and why I've been such an outspoken critic of the president's health care law. He promised premiums would go down for families by about $2,500 a year. Instead, they've gone up. He said, if you like what you have, you can keep it. We now know many people can't keep what they have if they like it. And these taxes, these fines, call them what you will, it's an expense that is going to hit middle-class America, and it is going to impact on the quality of life of American families.
Well, to your point, 80% of the 6 million to pay are middle class. So, it hits middle-class people the most. We just got news yesterday that I want you to respond to, and that's Oklahoma's Attorney General is filing a fresh legal challenge to Obamacare, and the focus of that is employer penalties for not offering affordable health care insurance. Are you going to piggyback on this? Do you see more of this happening in other states?
Well, I support what they're doing in Oklahoma, and actually Lindsey Graham and I almost a year ago introduced legislation called the State Health Care Choice Act, which would allow states to opt out of this mandate that businesses have to supply health insurance to their employees. This is an undue burden and expense, and a lot of businesses do want to supply health insurance at a level that is actually something that they can afford and that would work for their employees. But that's not good enough for the Obama administration and the Democrats. They want all of these people to be supplied with a level of insurance which may be a lot more than they need, more than they want, and more expensive than they can afford.
Well, choice is not a part of the plan, my friend. No. Senator, thanks for coming on tonight. We appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me, Geri.
You're welcome.